Self-esteem actually prevents improvement because you can only improve if you first acknowledge what you're not good at.
No, you can only improve if you acknowledge something that you need to learn further. But the desire to learn further, you want your kid to watch enough shows so that he's holding a fucking sword in a war? Wow. PragerU. We love PragerU over here, right? Did I mention it's opposite day? PragerU is just a horrible, horrible institution. I've said this before, I'll say it again. They're not actually a university, but they seem to identify as a university. And this video from PragerU, I will acknowledge, is a little bit old. However, it only recently came to my attention. And my goodness, it has all of the cancers mixed into one AIDS-ridden asshole, okay? We have fucking Matt Walsh mushed in with PragerU. It doesn't get worse than that, my friends. And like I said, it's a little older, but it just came to my attention now, and I had to go over it because holy shit. It's called Why Self-Esteem is Self-Defeating. You hear this, ladies and gentlemen? Okay? You want to be confident? You feeling good about yourself? Well, wrong. Think again, okay? According to the conservative university, you have to have no self-esteem. I'm sure this has nothing to do with the fact that people with low confidence are more likely to buy into extremist beliefs or anything. No. But anyway, let's hear what Matt Walsh has to say.
I have no self-esteem.
Wow, that is an awesome intro. 4 seconds, I just gotta say, god damn, man. Thank you, Matt, for just admitting it. Coming out hot here, man. You have no self-esteem. I mean, obviously, you lack self-esteem. Anybody with that haircut would, but whew. All right, let's go.
I'm not saying I dislike myself or that I have a problem with my self-image, and I don't have low self-esteem. I'm just saying that I have no self-esteem at all. Why? For the same reason that I have no pet unicorns. Self-esteem is a fantasy. It's a meaningless fabrication that exists only in your imagination.
Wait, if your mind is telling you that you are confident, that is what leads to you being confident. It's not a fantasy in your imagination. It is a mental process. Wait, how is self-esteem just a delusion? What? Are you just mad that like you were never able to find a unicorn when you thought you could? And so you're trying to compare it to self-esteem? I don't even know how to respond to this. Just so you guys know, self-esteem is actually real. Okay?
It's a meaningless fabrication that exists only in your imagination. The dictionary defines esteem this way: to regard with admiration. Self-esteem, therefore, means to regard yourself with admiration.
Wait, no. Why don't you give the definition of self-esteem, Matt? Why are you giving the definition of esteem and then Huh? Do we want to look it up? I have a feeling that he doesn't want us to look it up. Define self-esteem. Confidence in one's own worth or abilities, self-respected. So why are you mushing words together to be like, esteem means to admire, and so self-esteem just simply means you admire yourself? No, these words have different usages, essentially. And when we're talking about self-esteem, we're talking about being confident in your own worth and abilities. Believe it or not, Matt, you have a level of self-esteem to get up on camera and do this dipshit video for PragerU because you have confidence in your abilities enough so that you're willing to actually embarrass yourself in front of millions of people. So you can say it's not real or it's a fantasy just like unicorns and your brain, but at the end of the day, you're wrong, okay? Self-esteem is crucial to anybody who wants to grow as a person and be more confident in their self. Do we want to get into the literature on this? Because I have a little thing here that I saved just from like a little Very Well Mind, like a therapeutic type website. What is self-esteem? Self-confidence, feeling of security, identity, sense of belonging, feeling of competence. Self-esteem is important because it helps you have a firm understanding of your skills. You're able to maintain healthy relationships with others because they have a healthy relationship with themselves. You have realistic and appropriate expectations of yourself. and your abilities. You understand your own needs and are able to express them. Yeah, notice something? The conservatives talk a lot about like pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Well, you kind of need self-esteem to do that, you chuckle fucks. Why are you up here saying self-esteem is fake when you need to be able to understand your own needs and express those needs and work to achieve those goals if you believe in pulling yourself up by the bootstraps? It's just every conservative video just contradicts another conservative talking point. It's hilarious. Low self-esteem. You may believe that others are better than you. You may find expressing your needs difficult. You may focus on your weaknesses. You may frequently experience fear, self-doubt, and worry. You may have a negative outlook on life and feel a lack of control. Wait, is this low self-esteem or just what it is to be a Christian? You may have an intense fear of failure. You may have trouble accepting positive feedback. Low self-esteem has the potential to lead to a variety of mental health disorders, including anxiety disorders and depressive disorders. You may also find it difficult to pursue your goals and maintain healthy relationships. Having low self-esteem can seriously impact your quality of life and increases your risk for experiencing suicidal thoughts. Wow, okay, very cool. But yeah, listen to Matt Walsh, guys, and don't have self-esteem, you know? I don't even know where to go with this. This is fucking pathetic.
But is that how we should see ourselves? If someone asked you who you admire, would you really want to answer, well, I admire myself?
What? This is what happens when you don't even give the proper definition. Like, he literally gave a wrong definition to form his entire dipshittery on. Yeah, that's what it means to have self-esteem, guys, you know? You're sitting at the bar, your first date. She's like, I really admire Donald Trump. You know, he's just such a cool guy. Who do you admire? And you're just like, take a hard sip of your whiskey, put it down. Myself, bitch. Like, what? That's what it means to have self-esteem, apparently.
Would that be a good thing? I would say no, emphatically. I was hardly a precocious kid, but I think I realized this self-esteem thing was a racket as far back as junior high.
When I was in high school getting wedgies every day and getting swirlies and, you know, just living a very difficult life, I realized that this idea of having self-esteem is definitely fake. Very nice, Matt. If only you were saying this to a therapist, you'd probably be doing a lot better here.
I remember when the guidance counselor at my school handed out a worksheet and asked us to rate our self-esteem on a scale of 1 to 10. Meanwhile, kids in China were learning silly things like math and science.
What? Why do they always do this? Why do they always say, well, in other countries, they're teaching this? Yeah, you know, Matt, it's actually good that your school was taking certain measures to ensure the well-being of your mental health. Believe it or not, that's actually a pretty important aspect of living life as a human being. Were they doing self-esteem tests instead of math and science? Or were they teaching math and science along with an occasional self-esteem test? Can you help me understand that, please?
Meanwhile, kids in China were learning silly things like math and science.
And how to partake in the child labor market.
Now, we're bankrupt and they own the country, but at least we all feel pretty good about ourselves.
What? What is he even saying? Hold on. Does China own the country? What? What are you talking about? How does China own the country, Matt? Are you saying because we have a lot of national debt with China? You know that national debt isn't actually a bad thing, right? Surprise, surprise. If you're not a fucking normie conservative, it turns out that when you have debts, and especially national debt with other countries, that actually ensures decent relations with that country.
In any case, there we were, facing the important task of arbitrarily quantifying our egos. When I asked my teacher why I should have high self-esteem,
it's not an ego.
She said, because you're special. When I asked why I was special, she said, because you're you.
Why am I special? You know, nobody ever tells me I'm special in my house. So teacher, can you tell me why I'm special? How is this anything other than a fucking self-own, Matt? Now, of course, I don't believe you when you say that this is what happened. However, if this is what happened, then I would admit that the teacher did not give you a very good answer. Self-esteem is important because you need to have a healthy view of yourself and have healthy levels of confidence in your own abilities so that you can navigate this world in a more productive way. That's the answer. Maybe they said that he was special because he was in a special ed class. That would make a lot more sense.
I found this an odd statement at the time, coming as it was from the woman who had just given me a D on my last math quiz. Most of my classmates, though, quickly jotted down...
Wait, what does getting a D on your math test have to do with anything? Do you think that maybe if you had better levels of confidence in your abilities, you would have done better on your math test? What is he? He's literally just griping about his time in high school. I had to fill out this form. The teacher didn't say anything other than I'm special. And then they gave me a D on my test. Also, yeah, I thought you just said that you're not learning about math because China's learning about math and science and you're just doing the self-esteem thing. So interesting, Matt. What it sounds like you're actually telling me is that you were learning math and science and also prioritizing your mental well-being. Wow.
Giving me a D on my last math quiz. Most of my classmates, though, quickly jotted down 9s and 10s. Incidentally, some of them would grow up to become unemployed alcoholics, but I'm guessing if they could take that test again, they'd score themselves exactly the same.
What's even the response to this? Chat, help me. What is even going on here? They had high self-esteem and grew up to be an alcoholic. Therefore, self-esteem bad? What? You realize, Matt, like some of these people who grew up to be alcoholics or whatever have more than a common denominator of doing the self-esteem test. They also have the common denominator of being in contact with you. You ever think of that one, pal? Maybe it's just the fact that they were around you in their class, and just like how you seem to be still obsessed with your high school days, they're remembering that cringy, nerdy loser who didn't believe in self-esteem and told them it was like a unicorn, and so they had to just drink to try and forget you. Do you think that maybe that's possible?
See, that's the whole point of self-esteem. To be proud of yourself even when there's no reason to be proud of yourself.
That is not what self-esteem is. Self-esteem is having a healthy view of yourself so that even if you do fuck up, you don't view yourself as an eternal failure, and instead you view yourself as, hey, I made a mistake, but I still believe that I have the abilities to do this thing, and I'm going to do better next time. Award for breathing? Honestly, I think that Matt should get this award for breathing, because with somebody with his level of intellect, I think that they would deserve that.
Of course, apologists will claim that self-esteem is simply about confidence.
Yes.
And that you need confidence to succeed in life.
Yes.
Okay. But if self-esteem is simply about confidence, then why don't we just call it confidence?
What? Dude, I haven't seen all this, okay? I was literally waiting for what's his argument going to be here? Is he going to make like a solid argument? Why don't we just call it confidence? Because self-esteem is not only confidence. It's having a healthy view of yourself and your abilities, which leads to confidence, but it also leads to other benefits in your life as well. Do you... I feel like Matt would sit down and look at a thesaurus and be like, why are all these words different to describe the same thing? Why don't they just all call it the same word? One, that's not how English works, chump. Second of all, self-esteem is not only confidence. You're the one conflating self-esteem with like arrogance and ego or whatever. Okay. PragerU misunderstands dictionary part 3.
Because confidence must be earned. A student is confident about doing well on a test if he studies for it.
But how do they... But wait, you're missing something. If they're going to study for that test and do well, they need to have a level of self-confidence and belief in yourself and your abilities to do that thing. If you, for example, were told that you need to go and fly an airplane right here and right now, excuse me? Like, I don't know how to do that. I have no ability to do that. And then they say, okay, well, you need to learn how to do it immediately. And also, by the way, you're a super terrible person. You're never going to get it right, and you fucking suck. You're probably not going to be very good at learning how to fly that airplane if you don't have any confidence going into the lesson to begin with. This is like, am I going to have to say it? Am I going to have to say the C word? This is common sense.
An athlete is confident on the field if he practices. A singer is confident in her abilities if she, in fact, has abilities.
Yeah, has abilities. She needs to be able to express those abilities because of self-esteem.
Self-esteem, on the other hand, can be defined as unearned confidence. The person with high self-esteem, also known as a narcissist, feels good about himself on the basis of nothing.
What? Yes, a narcissist and someone with self-esteem. The same people. Thank goodness. Man, where is Matt's doctorate, dude? This guy should be in the medical field right now. Yeah, you know, I have a lot of self-esteem. Growing up, my parents told me that I was a really special kid and I had the ability to achieve what I wanted to achieve. So yeah, I seem to have a decent level of self-confidence here. And Matt goes, no, actually. You currently have a psychological illness known as narcissism, and I'm going to diagnose you with that immediately. Until you feel like complete dog shit about yourself, until you aren't even willing to wake up in the morning and brush your teeth because you don't have enough confidence in believing that your feet will reach the ground, then you are a narcissist, you piece of shit. Maybe like people need to go to like reverse therapy. Maybe instead of going to a therapist that's like, hey, it's all right, here's a way out, they just have to like take you down a couple notches, you know? You do kind of seem mentally crazy, buddy. I mean, I can't really blame your friends for not wanting to spend time with you, and I can't really blame your girlfriend for leaving you. I mean, have you looked in the mirror, pal? You're kind of ugly. Maybe that's what we need, according to Matt. I don't even know. Where do you take this?
We may ask him, why do you esteem yourself? And his learned
It's not esteem yourself. If he just looked up the right definition of self-esteem, this entire video would not be able to be made. He probably knows the correct definition, but is twisting things to make his video.
response will be, because I'm me.
No. So, oh my God. Now, this guy's a parent, by the way. That's really disturbing. So when your children are growing up, they need to have a level of self-esteem and they need to feel confident in their abilities and their relationship with, I guess, with their parents in this case. And part of that literally does come from parents reinforcing the idea that you are a human being of worth. You have value and you can achieve your goals if you put your mind to it and work for those goals. They need to have a foundational level of confidence and self-esteem in order to achieve other advantages in order to get more confidence. I feel like this is such a basic thing. Is it really this difficult, guys, for PragerU people to understand these things? Obviously, if you want to raise a child in a good environment with good confidence and good work ethic, you need to first raise your child to believe in themselves to a degree. It doesn't mean because you're special and no matter what and every single thing you do is an accomplishment, you deserve a trophy for taking a shit on the potty. What it means is that you make sure you instill in them the belief that I am a human being of worth, I am loved by my parents and by people around me, and I believe that I can achieve certain things if I work for them. That's called self-esteem. It's critical for a child to be raised properly. Oh my God, I feel so bad for his kids. Dad, I built a sandcastle. I'm really proud of myself. Proud of yourself? You're sounding a little narcissistic, Timmy. Calm the fuck down, kid. Okay, it's just a sandcastle. I could do that in 3 seconds. And in fact, once the tide comes up, it's gonna just wash away. Just like my love for you is washing away. Narcissistic little kid, little brat.
Like a modern-day narcissus, he can't see the world outside the window because he's too busy whispering sweet nothings to his reflection in the glass.
This is not what self-esteem means at all. Holy shit.
In a saner, less confused time, people saw it the opposite way. It didn't matter how you felt about yourself, it mattered what you did.
Maybe it's both? Do you think that what you do is somewhat dependent on how you feel about yourself, Matt? Like, this is so basic. I don't even know what else to say. 3 minutes in, I feel like I've made the same arguments 5 times.
Funny, that's what my parents taught me. I remember one time explaining very carefully to my dad that he couldn't expect me to do my math assignment because math made me feel bad about myself. In return, he suggested that maybe I should study more, and then math wouldn't make me feel so bad. But in the meantime, he said, it doesn't matter how you feel. Do your homework.
This is not the same thing at all. You wouldn't say, math makes me feel bad, so I don't want to do it. It's when you initially start doing math, you need to have a level of confidence that you can achieve that. I really like how he's like, growing up, I was never taught this. And it's like, yeah, you just told your little sob story about how you begged the teacher to please give you a reason as to why you're special.
But in the meantime, he said, it doesn't matter how you feel. Do your homework. Doesn't matter how I feel? What a scandalous notion. I probably should have called social services.
I think that we should call social services for his children.
If this self-esteem thing was just another benign form of entertainment, we could just laugh it off. But it's become a serious problem because this I'm special, love yourself, you get points for breathing dogma taints everything it touches.
First of all, nobody's giving awards, or nobody's receiving an award for breathing, okay? Believing that you are special.
Special, love your...
Believing that you should love yourself. These are important characteristics to have. Can it go too far? Yeah, of course. But it doesn't mean that when believed in an appropriate way, it cannot be beneficial. Obviously, you should believe that you are special and you should love yourself, because that is what's going to lead you to have the confidence in order to achieve certain things as well and go further in the world. Yeah, okay. Daddy, am I special? No. Son, did you mow the lawn today? Maybe after you fucking cut the grass, we'll talk about how special you are, okay? Being special is earned. I don't care if I'm your dad, okay? You're a fucking loser until you get out there and start working a job.
Yourself, you get points for breathing dogma taints everything it touches. It equips you for nothing.
Keep in mind also that it's actually funny, and this is kind of more of a hypothesis for me because I can't prove this, but when he talks about like the belief that you're special or you should love yourself, having beliefs that you are special and a important individual is oftentimes contrary to a lot of the conservative narrative, because conservatives want people to get in line. They want loyalty. And in order to recruit people specifically for conservative beliefs, this happens even overseas in like foreign areas with ISIS and whatnot, reaching out to weak-minded individuals with low self-esteem benefits the overall cause. So for example, ISIS oftentimes will try to recruit specifically men who are lonely, have low self-esteem, don't love themselves, and don't believe that they are special, because it offers them a greater cause. You can now be special if you do this thing and follow my religion or follow my politics. In a lot of different ways, the war against self-esteem coming here from PragerU is right in line with conservatism, because having levels of self-esteem is almost antithetical to conservative politics.
It won't help you at school. It will stifle your career ambitions.
No, it won't. It will literally help you at school, and it will not stifle your career ambitions. If you have confidence in yourself and belief in your abilities, that will actually benefit you, not the other way around.
And it will certainly wreak havoc on your relationships.
Again, it's so funny that he's saying this when the article we just read explained how people with the right amount of self-esteem actually flourish in relationships because they know how to be assertive when it comes to their boundaries and what they want to their partner. But yeah, never mind all the scientific literature on this, guys. Just, listen to the funny cartoon. She's thinking, what a loser. What a loser. Everyone who's cool fucking hates themselves.
Sure, insecurity and self-doubt can also be defeating.
Yeah.
But at least there's a chance that they might drive you to be better.
What? No, that's not how this works, you dumb fuck. If you're insecure and full of self-doubt, you're more likely to develop mental health problems, and you're less likely to be driven to do anything better. How is this even is this guy a real human, Matt? Are you real right now? Or are you just an AI created to regurgitate every dipshit conservative talking point imaginable? Am I looking at a fucking simulation right now? Matt's like, I feel like shit about myself, okay? I'm full of self-doubt. I'm super insecure, And that's what's driving me to be better, I just wish my dad would talk to me.
Self-esteem actually prevents improvement because you can only improve if you first acknowledge what you're not good at.
No, you can only improve if you acknowledge something that you need to learn further. But the desire to learn further stems from the belief that you have the ability to learn about this thing more.
But that process might take a toll on your self-esteem. So many people avoid it. I'm not saying that you should hate yourself. And I'm not saying that you should have low self-esteem. I'm saying have no self-esteem.
Even low self-esteem is too much over here, bitch. All right? In order to even enter the Prager University, you have to go through a little test. We'll give you a self-esteem test, okay? And if you score any higher than like a 2, you're out of here, bitch. It's like Willy Wonka around here. You're getting a tour of the university, and every time your self-esteem climbs up, you just get fucking thrown into a chocolate river and dumped out of here to ensure that your self-esteem stays down. Amen, Prager University. Yes. Only the biggest brain intellectuals go here.
As in, stop thinking about it, period. Do good things with your life, and you'll have all the esteem you'll ever need.
How do you get to the point of doing good things with your life, Matt? Do you think that takes a level of confidence in order to believe that you can do good things with your life?
I'm Matt Walsh for Prager University.
Wow. Thank you, Matt Walsh. This was an astounding video. I'm really surprised at how good this was. My favorite part of this whole video is when it ended. That was even worse than I actually thought it would be. Every time, man, how do I keep getting bamboozled by the dipshittery of these conservatives? It happens every time, and every time it's so fucking terrifying. Just don't think about your self-esteem. You shouldn't have low self-esteem. You should have no self-esteem. And that's Prager University, letting you know that you are a subhuman scumfuck. If you didn't already find that video abhorrent enough, now PragerU is trying to indoctrinate our children. You know how they're really hung up on how like the trans people are indoctrinating people or indoctrinating kids by saying that trans people and gay people are real? You know, that spooky thing they're always fear-mongering about? Well, now PragerU has decided we're no longer concerned about whether or not you're indoctrinating the kids. We just want to make sure we're the ones doing it. So, PragerU dropped this commercial not too long ago. Save your child's mind with PragerU Kids. 6 million views and only 1.3k likes and 6.3k dislikes. So, that's a little strange in my opinion. Did they like bot views here or something? Because it's pretty low engagement. What are the comments saying? This almost feels like a self-parody. As much as Prager pouts about left-wing indoctrination, this is incredibly funny. No, it's not brainwashing if we do it. True! All right, well, let's go ahead and check out the commercial and see what it's all about, you know? How can we save our child's minds?
It's dinner time with family, and you settle in to dine. Your son is watching something, but you think it must be fine. You know it's only kid shows, so you have some peace of mind. But as...
What is this editing? First of all, I really like the green screen. That's nice. Who voiced this? The voice acting. Can we get this guy on Pixar? Holy shit. You sit down for a lovely dinner with your family. That's what it sounds like right now.
Your son is watching something.
Your son is watching something. Did somebody just like do like a fake British accent? This is not a parody, by the way, guys. All right.
Something, but you think it must be fine. You know it's only kid shows, so you have some peace of mind. But as you eat the roasted goose, your little sport insists.
Hey, Dad, did you know?
Hey, who's eating roasted goose? I'm sorry, but what kind of snot-nosed, loser elitists sit around eating fucking roasted goose for dinner, okay? Get with the working class. Why don't you have some chicken? Or make a veggie burger, okay? But I'm sorry, anybody that is eating roasted goose, you're just living like an elitist, dude.
Insists.
Hey, Dad, did you know America is racist?
Your mind goes numb, your skin turns pale, and your heart aches with fear.
I like how they depict it as like they're not even able to give a counter argument or talk about why what their kid said was apparently bad. Instead, it's just like, oh, you cannot think like that. No son of mine will believe this. If my kid was like, hey, Dad, did you know America's racist? My first question would be like, why do you think that? And where did you hear this? And then if they were like, I watched a YouTube video that said how America's racist, I'd say, well, what was can I see the video? Like, how is America racist? How are they reaching this conclusion? And then I would try to explain to my child why that is either wrong or correct based on what the video is saying. I wouldn't actually just have like a seizure/conniption, and my eyes would not go pale, and my skin would not flush as I fall into a coma that my child is thinking differently. Instead, I would just try to explain to them, you know? But okay, let's see where this is gonna go.
And your heart aches with fear. Your child is being filled with lies, the babe you once held dear. But in that shock...
How are they being filled with lies? You haven't established this. Just, like, America is racist? What part of America? What if the kid was like, hey, the American criminal justice system is racist? Like, that would be true, right?
moment, a man pops into frame. Could it be George Washington, here to save your child's brain? He snatched...
I'm a little bit weirded out with this. So there's a kid, then there's a baby, and then all of a sudden there's a strange man in the house. I don't know, it just sounds like a plot line to a very dark movie. I hope this isn't like a Catholic movie or something, because this might get creepy, guys.
Here to save your child's brain? He snatched the screen and changed the thing, the something that is true. It's an app with shows for kids. They call it...
Something that is true.
PragerU. There's content for your child's mind.
Yes, the America's racist statement is a lie. And then George Washington comes along, which is also pretty impressive. I'm glad to see that he's back from the dead, and switches the iPad to PragerU. Wouldn't you be like a little bit more impressed that George Washington is there? Wouldn't you be like, holy shit, George Washington, I thought you died a long ass time ago. How are you here again? This is cool. But instead, little Johnny there is just like, thank you, George Washington, for changing my iPad. Also, another flaw, as a film critic, I must point this out. How would George Washington know how to use an iPad? I mean, I feel like George Washington, you know, being dead hundreds of years ago and then coming back from the dead, how would he know how an iPad works? Has he been like on Earth for a little while? Did he like take a tour of a Best Buy, get a feel for what America's like nowadays? I don't know. Just either way, very, very impressive.
Snatch the screen and change the thing, the something that is true. It's an app with shows for kids. They call it PragerU. There's content for your child's mind to fight the leftist lies. And if you give your child a chance to watch and think and grow, they might burst forth like Washington. A true...
You want your kid to watch enough shows so that he's holding a fucking sword in a war? Wow. Okay. Yes. That's what I think about, you know? Man, when my kids are sitting around watching TV, why the fuck do they not later want to hold a sword and fight in a battle for the country? What's the matter with them? What kind of shows are they watching? I also like how they flash around the different shows and you see Candace Owens reading a book. It's like, ah, yes, we will combat the leftist lies with the conservative lies. Amen. Thank you.
And think and grow, they might burst forth like Washington. A true American hero. Think better, live better. Visit PragerUkids.com for free kids shows, cartoons, and books that teach classic American values.
I'm just concerned about a little... Wait, hold up. I'm noticing another issue here. Aside from the fact that this kid is holding a sword, which is very dangerous, how dare PragerU buy into the leftist agenda? Why are they putting a wig on their son? Holy shit! Are you people trying to force transition your son to be like a George Washington stan? Holy shit, dude. Why is he wearing those clothes? Why is he wearing a wig? These people are literally trying to force transition their child. Dude, the LGBT agenda has just gone too far. I cannot believe you, PragerU. Disgusting. Groomers.
Grow. Think better, live better. Visit PragerUkids.com for free kids shows, cartoons, and books that teach classic American...
Dad, I watched PragerU and now I know that it's actually the good thing to fucking hate myself. Thanks, Matt Walsh. Like, what's your point here, pal?
Live better. Visit PragerUkids.com for free kids shows, cartoons, and books that teach classic American values.
Well, if you want your child to be brainwashed into fighting in a war, transitioning, and holding up a sword, then sign them up for PragerU Kids. That's going to get a dislike from me. Yeah, this is true. No propaganda for you, little Billy. Here, have some propaganda, which is okay because it aligns with my views. That is absolutely accurate. It's only propaganda when they're being taught something you disagree with. Okay, well, if your kid is already deranged enough to be watching an iPad at the table while also eating roasted goose, okay, that was probably the biggest offense here, then maybe sign them up for PragerU Kids. As if it didn't already hurt enough, now I'm in even more pain. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified when I drop a new video.